All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. Next, we're going to go slightly out of order. Want to welcome David Miller, new Assistant Director of Louisville Metro Public Works.
Hello, everyone. My name is David Miller. I took Pete's position, Assistant Director here at Public Works, and I'll be helping Karen in the next couple of months and into the future with education, and until they decide to appoint someone to be Executive Director.
Perfect.
So I'll be helping her and doing the budget until that decision.
Thank you, David. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. And now with that, let's move to the budget report.
Yeah, so didn't take in, it was try my eyes here, but it was only 861 in revenue this past period. So that's why the budget at the end percentages might have went down compared to up. Other than that, everything pretty much nothing out of the ordinary. If you go to we can go back to this page, but if you go to the next page, Karen, everything just normal stuff coming out of the budget. The only thing not normal, it would be the third line down was Karen and Diane registering for a conference at the end of this month. But other than that, it was just normal billing for the month.
Can you go back to the previous screen if I may ask?
And then just remember on here, the personnel expenses aren't like the operating expenses. They're not single line items. It's all on one item. And the second grade box, as usual.
As I've mentioned in the past, is there a way to take that 3.9 million out of this year? Because from just contractual services alone, it shows that we spent 10.7. Well, no, that's not true at all.
Yeah, so
we
it's
spent
the-
overspent it.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's the way Workday did it and added it in the middle. So it didn't carry it over at the beginning. It didn't carry over to like 3 months into the budget cycle.
I mean,
And it automatically does it. I could take it out on the back end if you prefer.
well, my suggestion was find some way to do it down below as a revenue and then an unexpended expense for the future potentially. So we're not affecting some of these line items here because or even the bottom line for that matter.
I can look into that and mess around with it, maybe email it and see if it's something that y'all like better.
So what about contractual services? The budget's 352,000. We've encumbered and the actuals of 406. Is that gonna be a problem going forward?
As far as which one, say it again, I'm sorry.
Contractual services. The
Yeah, it's
original budget.
352,000, that line item there, original budget, that's what you're looking at. And then amended budget took in the 3.9,
Yeah, I don't care about that.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
I'm
it was, then
looking
it
at
was what, 406,
Yeah,
right?
the 406 number. We're already 50-some thousand over budget.
Well, is the Raftellus study part of contractual services, or would that be somewhere else? Because I know that we had the added expenditure that we approved that was, I think, $12,000. Was that the amount? So that would
Yeah,
have been,
it
that would have
would-
been 12,000 of it. I'm
Yeah.
not sure about the rest.
Yeah, I could look and see if it came out contractual services, I can look at that definitely.
Yeah, I don't see where else it would have.
Right,
It
I
would've
think
been.
that's what the overshoot was, that, and then also too, what was it? It was 100 and, how much was it at the beginning? I remember off my head.
For reptiles?
Yeah.
Was it like 181?
181 or something like that, and then it was 12 more for the extension, I think, right?
It was 25.
It was
25.
Oh, 25.
25 more, yeah, so, yeah, that, more than likely, that did come out of contractual services, but I can double check that.
Because right now, it looks like and the entire budget, we're over. And we've still got quite a few months left in this fiscal year. 4 more months. got an entire third of the fiscal year yet to go, and we're already over budget. If we don't consider the 3.9, or really the 3.569, which is the carry forward stuff, which is the money that we could potentially use to fix that deficit. But that would have to be, I assume, this board's decision, correct?
Yeah, I think it would be a little clearer if we could have the 3.9 as a balance forward or something like that, rather than skewing that to, as Brian's point is, to make it look like we've used 10.3 or 10.4% of the budget.
I understand. I'll see if we can, I'll reach out and see if it's something they can do, but if not, we'll just have to readjust it and do the numbers without that. And you just tell me where you want it added or when. As far as like, so I can do the budget without the carryover, and you can see for a year period where you're at without the carryover, kind of put it to the side. Is that what you're?
Or down below.
Yeah,
You
that's
get-
what I meant.
you
Yeah,
get
at the
the
bottom,
revenue
it's-
and then whatever's left, I guess, from an expenditure, if we spent any money from that line item yet.
Yeah, because then, I mean, then it's like, do we just keep putting that on contractual services into perpetuity? That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Okay. I got it.
Thank you. All right, any questions, any further questions about the budget report or the warrants? All right, can we hear a motion to approve as presented, amending, or with the amendment to move the 3.9
Out of the expenditure field.
Correct.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Budget is approved. Thank you. Education report.
Hi, yes, we just really wanted, since last month, the repair fair seemed like a popular event that we shared about last year that we piloted in October. We wanted to share that our first one for this year is scheduled for March 7th, and it is going to be held at the Portland Community Center. And we are currently reaching out or sharing like a form to fill out if you want to be a fixer for that event. I think Greg Zarandek, who is in the photo down there, who's on our advisory committee, has already signed up. He seems to be able to fix anything. But anyway, we wanted to report that since you all, seem to be interested in that continuing. I do believe it's a really great event and helps get Louisville residents in the mindset of not just tossing and rebuying, but to try to keep things going when they're fixable. So.
What channels are we promoting that through?
We have a Facebook and an Instagram. We post to Nextdoor, and we share often with things like this. We already have some partners like the Louisville Tool Library and U of L. Yes, some partners that help share. As far as platforms, though, it's your typical social media.
Have you reached out to the council member for the area for this one?
I don't know.
Rachel usually does
Oh,
that.
I assume
Yeah.
that you all did, but yeah.
Yeah, Rachel's pretty good about reaching out to whoever the surrounding.
Yeah.
council members.
That's kind of part of our
Yeah,
procedure if we're hosting something. I don't know if she's done it yet. But we did, I think the idea was to hold it in April, but April is very busy and we had some trouble with the dates, so we just decided to move it up rather than pushing it any further into the year. So now Rachel got on the ball with getting the things rolling because it does take a lot of logistics, and especially having those volunteers, because you can't do the program without having the volunteers to fix things. And then once that's all set in place, she'll be pushing it out for people to make appointments and be ready to come to the event. So.
Do you rope in like education partners and any supportive services into this event as well?
What do you mean?
that if we have people, so I think I'm a little behind on what the repair fair is, but I
Oh,
can
that's-
intuitively understand that it sounds like it's something that people will bring items
Yeah.
to be repaired.
Yeah.
And it is likely that some of the people who attend this would also benefit from some additional community-based organizations or something to that
Yeah,
effect.
we didn't do that last time, like as far as we had our own table there, with some of our waste education there, but we hadn't, reached out to have other community partners, like host a table or just have information. But you did remind me, as you mentioned, education, the idea for fixers is not only that they help the resident fix their item, but they show them what they're doing and teach them. And in some cases, items couldn't be fixed right there, but they said, you know what, you need this part, and then you're gonna do this. And so they taught them what to do as they moved on. So, but yeah, I will share that with Rachel about seeing if
Just
someone's
consideration.
interested in just kind of being there to share services. It's a good idea.
Sounds
Let me
great.
ask you this, at this particular fair that, on the pictures, I'm assuming this was just the fixers and the people bringing stuff in?
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah, the fixers
So-
stay all day. Residents are encouraged to make an appointment, and we also have time for walk-ins.
Well, to Sean's point, if you had community partners set up tables, I'm not sure if appointments would work. Because your foot traffic would be just the appointment people showing up and just sitting there.
Yeah.
Waiting to get something fixed. It's
Yeah.
not a,
Yeah,
Right,
there's like a
there's not
check-in
people-
table,
right.
so, yeah.
Hmm.
But, I mean, I guess,
let's talk about that offline.
yeah,
We'll talk about it.
you let us know. I mean,
Yeah.
and if you know anyone that's interested in partnering in some way like
Yeah.
that, we can definitely do it.
Thank you for that update.
Mhm.
All right, let's move on to new business. We have the appointment of advisory committee members.
Yeah, so a couple months ago, you all appointed Alex Heron from the Office of Sustainability. Unfortunately for us, probably good for him, he took a job closer to, it's in California, I think that's where he was from. So anyway, so he left Louisville, and Jake Medley is the director of the Office of Sustainability, recently appointed. I think I just saw that come through. It's an announcement from the mayor, but he has requested to be that Metro government appointee for the advisory committee instead. He couldn't be here today, but I wanted to go ahead and put it in front of you all so that way he could get started to join in on the meetings.
Do
you need a motion for that, or?
You do have to vote to appoint him to be on the advisory committee. I'm sorry, he's not here to be able to like introduce himself or anything like that. If you recall, Sumedha Rao was the original director of Office of Sustainability, and she moved away, and that's when we thought it would be great if someone else from their office would join. And then it was Alex who did come to the meeting and introduce himself. But then he has since moved, and now Jake is willing to do that.
So is he expecting to attend the February meeting if he's appointed?
If you guys approve him as being a member of the advisory committee, holding that Metro government position, then he would then start attending the advisory committee meetings, which would be February 18th, next one.
Okay. Do we hear a motion?
I'm sorry, do we officially have to remove Alex as part of this, or does that just happen? Just
This
goes?
happens,
Okay.
I mean, I think it's appropriate for the director of the Office of Sustainability to be the Metro representative if that's what Metro wants. So, I mean, I don't see any problem with that at all.
All right, do we hear a motion?
I'll move.
We got the motion and the second. Any,
Flashing seconds.
any other questions, feedback? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Jacob Medley is approved as as the advisory committee member for the Office of Sustainability. All right, let's move to field trip.
So last month as well, in December, we had a presentation from Michelle Buchanan and some other representatives from Field Trip joined in to give basically an overview of the 2025 campaigns and everything that they did. I do have some reports. I was hoping to not have to talk about a lot of that, but if I need to pull anything up, I can. But this is the time, like our invoices for the agency fees are ending. So last year we put, for the first time, put Field Trip on retainer for the year. And that basically ends with a January 1st invoice. And the next one, if so approved to continue our work, would start that another year up. So I wanted to bring this ahead of you all to see, just to be sure that you all wanted to keep them on retainer. This is the scope of work I sent. There's another page and a signature page, but I highlighted here the differences. I know it's slightly small, but the last year they had put field trip attendance at 4 board meetings. I don't think that was necessary. They did change it to 2, but basically the goal would be to attend a meeting and do a formal presentation for the kind of sharing their creatives and the new ideas for the year, and then also coming to give a presentation like they did in December, sharing how the year went. So that is a difference from last year's scope of work. And then the other highlighted changes are basically how the changes are there because of what happened over the course of the year. Adding in some more education department support. They had, I think, some just like social media support, and we didn't end up really utilizing them for much when it came to our own organic social media. So instead, their hope is to support some of our events like the Repair Fair, and some of those details can be formed as we go through the year, but to support us, maybe even sending a team member to photograph an event or help us with some creatives for things like that. So that was a difference. And then the other difference was the way it's phrased is a multi-phased campaign spread throughout the year to cover all major messaging themes and communication objectives. So just moving away from last year, they had written it in the scope of work like mini campaigns, but over the course of the year, they ended up really keeping the same flow throughout. So it wasn't so much about mini campaigns. So that's why they just changed the wording a little bit to multi-phased, spread throughout the year. And then the wrap-up reports included at the end of each campaign phase was changed just because of how it was worded at the top. Everything else in the scope of work, it was the same. As the key contact, I was pleased with everything. We met bi-weekly, and they want to continue meeting bi-weekly just to check in and make sure things are going okay. Those meetings were typically pretty short. But we would do a kickoff just like we did last year, like a longer in-person kickoff to come up with the ideas that we have for the coming year. So I also screenshot the cost. This is the agency fees, and this is the exact same as last year. So this is what we did over the year. And The other fees that were on top of that were any kind of, digital media or billboards or whatever it was that we paid for beyond, the agency fees. So this is the guaranteed, we will pay this through agency fees, and then, the other things, the cost fluctuates based on, how much.
Do you have a rough ballpark on what that looked like last year for us for the,
I should
sorry,
have done
yeah.
that, and I did not. I didn't tell, well, actually, on my computer here, I might be able to pull it up.
Do they have a schedule of values for production, media expenses and print production?
Can you say that again?
A schedule of values for the third party fees, like, is it an hourly cost or is that a? what is it?
Right, when they give us an invoice, hold on just a second, I do keep this all here. When they give us an invoice, it is itemized, so we know what, what it was paid for. It's always harder to find when you're under pressure.
That's all right. No, I guess what I'm asking is, when we have a video production or a media expense, are we paying it directly or are we paying it through them and they put a?
They didn't do video this past year, but they did the year before, and that was through their own office. They have the equipment to do that.
Is there a markup on top of that? Or is that just a straight fee?
Since that was 2 years ago, I don't really remember. I think on the previous slide, it actually talked about video, like it's not included. Okay, so the 2025 field trip expenditures totaled 167,245. So that included that 80,000.
So it's basically double.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the highest typically, for example, it would be, digital display ads, Facebook social ads, billboards, posters, they're just for each month, or it's, whatever campaign we were doing at the time. I will say some of those, I have it on a different column, whether it was SWIMS or district, because some of those, there was a SWIMS add-on for the spring that the SWIMS funding actually paid for and not district. So it's actually less than double.
They did a great presentation last month.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
It was really good. So are they, with this, do they plan to add on the Caring campaign? Because you just mentioned that they didn't do much for the social media, that you did it pretty much yourself.
No,
So-
they do social media, and
Okay.
that's that digital ads. That's what the part that they do. So all of their campaigns, they put on social, but we continue to share our own, like if we want to promote our event, or we have the repair fair form out there, we're just kind of doing that without funding behind it. So they could theoretically put funding behind things that we want to really get out even more. But for the most part, the campaigns they're working on, that's what they're putting the funding behind. So, you can post without any money, or you can say, I'm gonna put a couple $100 behind this and
It's all about
try to get it out, yeah. And they're the experts on that. I definitely don't have the expertise on, how to determine who sees it and all of that. So that, to me, it's very beneficial to have, experts in that role. And they did some, I believe they did some, streaming audio, this past year. So like on Spotify, or if you're listening and you get an ad.
I guess I'm still stuck on the third party fees. Is it okay, let me try to ask it, so maybe I'm not clear. Is it a straight pass through when they charge us for it, or do they pay for it with a markup and then they send us an invoice? How does that work?
It is, they send us invoices.
Okay,
I was gonna try to look one mean, their agency fees are covering their costs, so.
Usually most agencies would just incur the cost, mark it up and bill you.
Right, that's what the markup was.
Or could we pay the third party?
Well, that's what I'm saying,
folks
just
directly?
pay it directly and you actually save the markup fees. But if it's cumbersome, definitely pay it through them and.
Your biggest expenses are gonna come from like the media buys, what kind of what Karen was alluding to, like when you go on and buy social, you buy from the media buys. That's pretty standard. The markup's not gonna be that significant
Well,
on
5
that,
or 8%.
if that,
Okay.
yeah, if that, like 3 to 5% usually,
We
maybe a
can
little bit
live
more,
with that.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Carl. The December one was, the last bill had December digital, Facebook social. It was the note for fall leaves, $524.98. Then same thing, but for recycling was $1,782.93. And then December Nextdoor, they had put some ads on Nextdoor and paid $350 for that. So that's how they
That's
itemize it,
that's
so we
nothing.
know.
it's not gonna be,
That's nothing, real good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Did they talk about any high-level statistics like reach, especially with regards to different areas of Jefferson County, areas that they were better able to,
penetration.
affect and penetrate versus some that were maybe slated for, some kind of expansion in this next cycle?
We definitely got reports for the end, and I can send those to you. It might be better for you just to read through those reports. All of you, I know, we have some good experts on this kind of thing, but they definitely share, like, this performed well, we will do this again, or this really didn't perform well, so we think we might pivot and do this a little differently. So I like the way that they work, and I do trust that, when they show us the numbers and maybe it didn't work and they tell us, like, here's what we think we should do differently, we trust that judgment. I think that because of the end of the year, when they presented in December, they were still waiting on some of the numbers to finish out. So I do now have like all the campaign wrap-ups. So I'll send those out for you all to look at.
And these dates of February 1st, well, the first of each month, is that the date that the invoice would be created, or is that the?
That is for, I did
payment
ask
due
that, yeah, it's for the month, so I think she has an invoice date, but it's for that month, so February 1st covers the month of February, but we are getting to almost February now,
Yeah,
so.
we would need to.
Karen, is this their second year? I mean, are we going to the third year?
This,
Or
this
how long
should be
have-
at least third year.
third?
Mhm.
So
We did, yeah, we started with their, 2023, it adds up,
Yeah.
if you were highly involved in that.
Yeah.
2024, we did the Clean Together campaign, and then this year, 2025, was the first time that we kept them all year long, rather than focusing on one big campaign. So this will be going into the fourth year, but the second time on retainer, if we can do that.
What I was going to suggest that might be helpful for the board is if you could ask them to do an analysis, because now they probably have some trends, or they should be able to see some trends. So, they've been buying social media, they've been posting boards, they've been doing a number of different things. And it's hard to tell like first year, second year, but now you're into your third, fourth year, you're starting to see some trends. So it might be some areas we can save money. We say, well, we've been spending it, haven't had a lot of penetration or haven't had a lot of results. Maybe we cut that and then we focus more money on the areas where we've gotten a really good response or something like that. So if you might be asking to take a look at the 3-year analysis and then give you a trend report, it might give us some insight in terms of where we want to spend money.
Yeah, we actually had a call today with them just to kind of brainstorm a little bit. Councilwoman Nicole George was on the call too, just to share some ideas. So we're all thinking about it. We all, wish everybody would listen to everything we say. It's not always easy to track you know, deliverables, like how do we know it's working kind of thing, but we're looking at that too, at, maybe ways that we can track that. We have without really knowing, I guess, that we definitely have this funding for the next year, but our goal is to have Angela Richardson through the Department of Public Works. She does a lot of data tracking, so to help us get some, like a dashboard. And so not only their data for the digital engagement that they can see, but also anything that we can track, like 311 reports or you know, tonnage or anything that we can actually use as a data point. So these are all things that we're looking at.
Okay, any further comments? Does anybody want to make a motion to approve field trip for this next cycle?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
When they have two of the board of directors meetings, like on their calendar, I guess, would, you know, something maybe end of Q1, beginning of Q2, is that?
I mean, the goal, I think, for the first one would be, once they have some creative, before they start putting anything out, to share with the board the ideas and get feedback. So I don't know exactly when that was last year, which month that was, but I would think it would have to be pretty early on.
Okay. Yeah, just so they can align with like countywide objectives and any opportunities that we have there.
Okay.
Okay. We have a motion and we have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, field trip is approved for this cycle. Thank you. Okay, let's move to advisory committee report, the cost of services study update.
Well, I did put this slide up here. This was the supplemental agreement and the basic things that were within that agreement. And two of those have already happened, so I put little check marks. The final draft report was due January 9th. They did send it on that day. The committee did receive that immediately. Morgan from Raftalis did attend the January committee meeting, which was last week. And at this point, I don't really know how to explain what happened during that meeting, but they will, the goal is that at by February 11th, the motion at the end of the meeting last week was that by February 11th, all committee members would send any other comments or questions that they had, so that at the February 18th committee meeting, that could be addressed. And the goal would be to have a draft to give you on your February meeting, the 25th. Pete is here. He might be able to share more about what happened during that.
I think most people, and I can't speak for most other people, but I felt like the second draft was much improved. I do believe that there were, at least from my standpoint, probably two or three things that I would consider very important that needs to be discussed further. And that's one of the things that all of us are supposed to be working on as the advisory committee, is to send that in so that we can nail those down sooner rather than later. And I think by hopefully by that 18th, because there's going to be a week in between, Raftalis can be ready to address those things at the next advisory committee meeting. The hope is that all things are resolved. I don't think that we're that far off. and the board would get it. But if we don't, the idea, because the board made a motion that we should come back by the February meeting of the board, if we don't have it, we would come to the board and say, look, this is what it is, this is the strength, weakness, whatever. But then this is where it's still weak. Do you want us to continue to work on it, or do you want to accept it as is? So that's the goal. Correct me, anybody, if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what I heard.
The other thing is that the committee asked for bound copies. I think it's about 100-page document, and so Morgan agreed to do that for them. Of course, I think there was a bit of a delay in service to do that because of the snow,
Yeah.
but the goal is to get those into the hands of the committee members that wanted to have a tangible copy to read through.
I'm sure in all fairness, that would be a little bit easier to review an extremely long report.
That's reasonable.
And Morgan, as requested, that she could be requested to be at this meeting. We weren't really sure if she's needed, so she wasn't able to come, but I do have her on call in case you all had any questions that you would like to redirect to her.
I would think that the board, when we initially did this, that there was supposed to be a presentation to the board. Until we nail it down, you guys get it in February, I wouldn't think that they would want to do a presentation until you guys have looked at it, felt good about it, and then have them come back probably at the March meeting.
Probably March.
By March.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of value in dragging someone out here when we don't have anything actionable to run by them. Okay, any other comments, questions about cost services study? All right, let's move forward. We have an opportunity for public input. So anyone wishing to be heard with anything pertaining to this board, the current agenda, or any current issues or projects that we're working on. Okay. Hearing no comments, we will move forward. Today is a special day, sad day, because we are going to be honoring Carl Braisley. He's been serving for several years, I believe now, and has brought a really unique bit of knowledge to us and a really good perspective, and it's been incredibly valuable, and we thank you so much for your service. You're going to be greatly missed, and we'll try to find someone who measures up.
Carl, this is from Mayor Greenberg's office. Thank you for your 5 years of faithful service to the citizens of District A, being a member of the Waste Management District 109 Board. Thank you for your continued dedication and service. Thank you.
Yeah, wow.
I just want to say thank you. It's been an honor and a privilege of serving. It's amazing, like before you get on the board, how many things you don't see or you don't notice or you don't understand. But then after you've been part of the board for a while, you're driving down the street and you're looking like, oh, hey. but so, I don't think it's something that you just walk away from. So, it will continue to be with me for life as I look, and, and it's just been an amazing experience. And, just the professionalism of the staff and the old guy back there, but But it's just been amazing. It's been a real experience, and you guys would be amazed at how many people I've shared what we do, and they're like, "What do you do?" And we talk about it. Like it's unbelievable the work that you guys do, and you guys should really feel proud. And you've done an awesome job. I just wish I was thinking as you guys were talking that you guys got more flowers now. I mean the success stories that you guys have, people just don't know. And I was just thinking, man, we need to be in more venues, and because if people really understood all the things that took place and all the successes we've had, I think they would be blown away. So just thank you guys for allowing me to be part of it.
Thank you so much. And I understand you're going to keep attending all of these board meetings.
Everyone.
Good. We'll be looking for you.
Did you and Pete roll it up
Yeah,
together?
exactly. Me and Pete, we're gonna get this work back.
109 board for life. All right. Well, thank you again, Carl. With that, let's move to announcements. As mentioned earlier, the next advisory committee meeting is on February 18th, 4:30. Is it here?
Mhm.
It's here. So I think from now on, we'll be here.
Yes.
Uh,
Anything crazy changes, you will hear from me, but it's here.
Yes, and of course, the next 109 board meeting will be the week following that on February 25th, 5:30. All right, anything, any parting words? Okay, we can get a motion to adjourn.
I
I
make
think
the
that's gotta be
motion.
Carl, yeah.
I want to steal it. Make the motion to adjourn.
All right, in a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes, meeting adjourned.
Sincerely, from somebody in the industry, I appreciate how engaged you are. That's not always the case with board members. Even if they come in and try to, they want to they want to participate, they just.
It was truly an experience.
This is the new format.
Man,